Okay, let's start with the concepts. So the first concept is just understanding the main mechanisms, like the movement patterns that we're going to be using, which is focusing on base switching and post switching, which essentially creates like a favorable technical stand-up for myself while denying my partner's technical stand-up. So just to give a quick example, if we just landed out of the tripod sweep and I'm trying to withdraw my leg and Rory's trying to withdraw his leg, we're both just kind of sitting here. But if I switch my base, I can come up into the technical stand-up because Rory hasn't switched his base. This is still his withdrawing leg. I've substituted my withdrawing leg for a base leg and withdrawn the other leg. So this would be like kind of the first and simplest thing. We usually teach that to one-on-one folks when we teach the tripod sweep, is just understanding base switching and post switching, which again is connected to the other concept, which is to deny your partner the technical stand-up. And that can be by simply gripping, but sometimes denying your partner the technical stand-up will involve a momentum shift where it's not really that you're denying it to them, it's just they don't have time to do it. I get to it way before you can, which is also connected with lever control, which is the other concept that we're going to talk about. So single lever control is great, but ultimately, if you're dealing with somebody athletic enough or just bigger than you or whatever, if I don't control both legs, like start kind of building up, Rory can always, like if I'm, at this point, I'm actually at a disadvantage because I don't have any base behind me and I'm dead toes. If Rory just gives me a bit of a, yeah, there you go. He's going to win that every time. So controlling a single lever is good. In particular, if you've performed a base switch or post switch in a way where your partner has inferior base, absolutely single lever control will get the job done. But ultimately, what we are going to favor, and if you've watched any of the 201 guard modules, we're always kind of talking about, can you grab both legs and then get up? Because if I can grab both legs, I don't super duper care about his athleticism, his size, et cetera, because he's just going to be so physically compromised by the denial of base. So ideally, conceptually, we want to control both legs. However, an additional concept is that's not always possible. So you're going to have to make the judgment call as to when, if Rory's building up, when do I want to pursue a wrestling scenario? And we'll go over that in a fair bit of detail, but that's a decision point that is going to come up, and I would say much more so in no-gi than in gi, because in gi, even in that scenario that we just utilized, I would simply try to reach across and secure that other pant leg, and it becomes a double lever control kind of situation. So in no-gi, you're going to have to make the call, when is it worth your energy expenditure to wrestle? That's going to depend, obviously, on your skill level wrestling and a few other things. And then also conceptually, we want to talk about, and we will talk about, proxy control versus direct control, which is, a gi and no-gi kind of related thing. And obviously the different forms of levers that we'll be using. So, the ratchet lever being a very powerful one that can deny certain things. But that is mostly going to be a gi versus no-gi thing. The proxy control that the gi offers you allows you to do bad wrestling or no wrestling because you're just holding on to someone's proxy material that controls them in a way that they can't build base significantly. Whereas in no-gi, we're not going to have that proxy control. We're going to have lever-based control or direct control, and both can work. But again, it's just going to come down to how good is your wrestling, or how good are you at denying somebody the ability to be in a strong wrestling position. So those are the concepts we'll be dealing with in this module.